Hello and welcome to When the Smoke Clears. I am the Recovery Plug. How's it going, everybody? I like to get my podcast started always with a moment of silence followed by the serenity prayer for the addict who still suffers. So if you would, a moment of silence. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. How's it going? Well, hi everybody, today's Sunday, so happy Sunday, right? I am downtown San Antonio, chose a location with a nice shaded area and figured I'd do the podcast from here. I just got out of I attend a church that's downtown San Antonio, so I just got out of church and had a good message in the church, and I just want to touch a little bit about maybe what the message was in church, and then perhaps kind of elaborate that towards the topic of recovery and addiction, right? So they had this whole thing where this talked about children. They talked about teaching, learning to teach your children how to lead a life in the direction of a spiritual life, a life with Jesus Christ. And for me, for my higher power is Jesus Christ. So that is the message that was at the church today was, teaching the young folks how to engage their life in a positive and spiritual way with the Lord Jesus Christ. And that, for me, is something that I could remember as a kid always being involved in the church in some sort of faith-based community, as long as I can remember, since I was a little kid. But there was a particular story that they used at church for this particular service today, and it was a church. It was a story of a woman who was in desperation. She was down to her last cent. She was down to her last faith. I guess that last bit of hope that you have left. That maybe perhaps God's going to hear me this time. And for her, it was a 12-year run of her being had some sort of illness where she was bleeding all the time, and it lasted for 12 years. And back in the day of Jesus, if you, in this particular community, if you were bleeding like that of some sort of sickness, or you were, if you were the person with the sickness and if you touched anybody else, well then those people would also be considered unclean, and so you'd have to go through this whole process of being cleansed, and it took a good minute, for that process to take its course. And I don't know exactly how long that process was, but it could have been days, it could have been months, I have no idea. But the thing is that there was a cleansing process of, and that particular woman was her last, she was holding on to that last little bit of faith that maybe, God would listen to her and she would get healed in some sort of way. And so Jesus is coming through this town, through this community in that town, and there's got all these people. I mean, there's a mob around him, right? So this particular woman decides that she's going to sneak up behind Jesus and just at least touch his robe, and that for her is she knows that if she gets caught going to try to touch the robe of Jesus as he's walking through that crowd, and somebody recognizes her as somebody, and they know that she's got this disease or whatever, and she's uncleansed, then there's going to be this whole uproar of the people who's following Jesus into this place wherever he's going, and so she makes it a point to kind of sneak around so that she could at least touch his robe, and she does. And when she does, it kind of tugs at it. I'm assuming that maybe yanked him back or something. So he turns around, and Jesus is asking, "Who's touched my robe?" And everybody's looking around like, "Oh no, I didn't do it. I didn't do it." And this woman has the courage and that desperation that she says, "You know what? I did it." And Jesus turns around and tells her, "Daughter, you are healed." And like he already knew, you know what I mean? And immediately this woman became healed, and immediately she became a member of productive society at that time. Nobody didn't see her as somebody who was cast out, who was this sick person. So she was immediately in the eyes of every stranger around that crowd, saw Jesus exactly, look at her, point at her and say, "You, daughter, are healed." And because she had that courage to take that leap of faith to say, "I got to go talk to Jesus." And she went and talked to Jesus, not because this woman was isolated in her home or wherever she lived, and so she's sick 12 years. She can't come out because the community isolates her and says, "No, you can't be around anybody." So it's almost like the COVID thing almost, you know what I mean? They isolate you, you can't come out, you can't touch nobody, you can't do anything. And so this woman took a leap of faith, and she'd heard that Jesus was coming through town, and she just knew from word of mouth that Jesus was the person who was able to heal people. He performed miracles already along the way of his journey. So she figured, well, if I could just get close to him, if I could just touch this person, perhaps maybe then I could get a second chance at life and I could get healed. So it just, looking at, the world of recovery and addiction, how many of us have been in that desperation mode when you just feel lost, when you just feel tired, when you just feel like, man, that is it, I'm done. Like you got one last hurrah, if you will, to yell up to the heavens, and or to whoever your higher powers, or to whatever it is that you're trying to get healing from, and just yell, "Please help me," and you're ready to take that step because you have no more energy left. You're just so isolated, so depressed, so angry, so just caught up in the world of your addiction, whatever that may be, that you could muster up to just take one last yell, to ask for the help, to ask for that relief, if it's only for a little bit, instead of asking for the relief through your addiction, like most of us find it so easy to do. I know personally myself, when I was in search of last leap of faith, or just felt like it was rock bottom or some sort of like that, if I had to get some sort of a problem in my life, that I felt like, instead of using that last little bit of whatever I had to, call out for help, I would use it to go get myself another fix, or go, use that last little bit of energy to go do another lick so that I can go get drugs or whatever it is, so that I can remedy that feeling that I was feeling at that particular point in time, and so that my addiction would just progress and progress. And how many of you have ever been through that? Have ever felt that last, just like you're just tired and you're sitting there isolated and lonely, and just you have friends, but it's almost like you're crying out for help, but nobody listens. And I have been there, and I have felt those things many a times, and I would just miss the message. I would not be able to see the message or the help that God had probably right in front of me, and I just didn't see it. But now that I'm here in this world of recovery and positivity, I'm able to see things, I'm able to notice things, I'm able to understand the disease that I have and where the disease was taking me. And I'm grateful that I was able to get out of that way of thinking, and I think it all starts there, is just how the mentality works in that sense, because when you're in that addictive state, your mentality is very, very, very limited, and your hearing is very, very, very selective, so you don't want to hear the good that people have to tell you. You don't want to take action on that, because what you want is to take action and something that's going to just give you that remedy for right then and there. And for me, that was going out and getting the cocaine, the methamphetamines, whatever it was. I didn't want to hear shit from anybody, and all I wanted to do was just use so that I could just relax and be good for that particular moment in time. But through the grace of God, He threw some obstacles out at me that I was able to see, and I'm able to take advantage of, and surround me with people that were, angels in a sense, and they had no idea that they were helping, but they did. And I've been there asking for that last desperation, of that last hurrah, that last, asking, just pleading like, God, I'm tired of being in these tents. I'm tired of being out in the street. I'm tired of riding this bike with nowhere to go. I'm tired that I got this freaking loaded backpack and I'm riding this bicycle and I don't know where I'm going. I'm just riding. And, I'm tired of being in a motel day after day, night after night, selling drugs, using drugs, and just not knowing when, I would use the money up to buy the hotel, to buy the drugs, and then you're so involved in doing the drugs that you don't, your time at the hotel's up, and you're just like back to square one with no money in your pocket. You still have this bike, you got a loaded backpack, you gotta hit the streets, and it's 105 degrees outside, and you're just like, man, what do I do? Where do I go? And all you can think of is like, you want to go out and do something stupid so that you can get another hit, and you just put yourself in these bad situations, and I call those the bad boundaries. I put negative and bad boundaries in my life that allow me to stay in that addictive state. So I am so grateful that I was able to get out of that process of thinking, so that I can think positively and think prosperous and think faithful, and just my spectrum of how I think, my mind spectrum has broadened, and instead of coming here in this narrow with these blinders on now, I got the blinders off and able to see everything around me and able to sense everything around me like I should have been. And but I'm grateful that I'm able to do it now, and grateful to be able to do my selfish work and send a message that, of things that have helped me along the way to the road of recovery and positivity, and maybe you hearing my message will take you to the road, to the realm of recovery and positivity. And I honestly hope to God that I see you on this side, because staying in that dark, negative place, and with surrounding yourself with the people that are in that situation is just chaotic and insanity. And not that these people are bad, because the people that I personally knew and I personally dealt with were people that I cared for. You know what I mean? I don't know if they cared for me. I have no idea. I don't know how they felt in their hearts. But the people that I lived with, the people that I came to know and considered to be friends, the people that I quote unquote partied with or whatever, there's a lot of good people. And not bad souls, they just lost souls. And I genuinely cared for them. And I considered them my friends. And I would help them however I could. I wouldn't. If there was something bad that happened, I'm gonna stick up for them, because I don't. That's just me. You know what I mean? And it's just part of my military mentality. I guess don't leave your brothers behind. And for me, those were my brothers and my sisters who were out there, and I care for a lot of them. I really do, and I just wish that I could bring everybody along with me. But it's not ultimately my decision. But what I do have control over is what I do in my mind, and what I let the outside entities and world affect me, and how it affects me. I got control over that. So I hope that if this message encourages somebody to come and take that first step to the world of recovery and positivity, because it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful world. A lot of opportunities and things that happen that you don't even know. Just out of the blue, things happen. I'm going to give you an example for it's one of them. That I just believe that doing things and putting yourself in the presence of positive people and doing positive things and setting healthy boundaries this is what happens. And for example, when I was coming to church this morning, I rode the bus. About 3 bus stops later, I realized that I can't find my cell phone. I'm left, and I remember distinctly laying it down on the side of me, and I lost track of my thought, because as soon as I did that, bus honks at me, and I'm getting on the bus. Well, I get on the bus and take off, and then I realize, oh my God, where's my phone? I can't find it. And I get off the bus, and I'm walking with this stern cane, so I can't walk very fast, right? So I decide to get off the bus and walk back. So I'm walking back. It takes me from wherever I got off to walk back. That probably took me about 25-minute walk in a cane. So that's a good little ways, you know what I mean? And so I finally get there, and I see somebody at the bus stop, and I was like, okay. I said, well, if I see somebody at the bus stop, then my phone's not going to be there. And the closer I'm getting to the bus stop, I realize it's somebody that I know, and it's a fellow veteran, and I call him Nebraska because he's from Nebraska. So I see the old Cornhuskers. He's hanging out at the bus stop smoking a cigarette with his backpack, and he's ready to go wherever he's going to go today. And so as soon as I get close enough to talk to him, I'm like, brother, tell me you found a phone on this bench. And he goes, yeah. He goes, dude, I knew it was your phone. He goes, I handed it up to Rick up at the office. And I was like, oh my God, dude. I said, I realized that I forgot it, and I get back, and he has my phone. He had turned it in, and I got my phone back. So, but I'm just thinking things like that, because when I was out in the street, out in the world of addiction, I've lost my phone out there before, and when you're in the realm of people who are using it, and you set your phone down and walk away and think that you're going to see it when you get back. I mean, people who are out in the world of addiction are, in their mindset, I call them, myself personally, I call it you're an opportunist when you're out there, because I was the same way. And if there's an opportunity for you to get something, which is call it a lick, in the world, in the street world, if you have an opportunity to do a lick, and you see it, then you jump at it. I mean, that's just the way it is, and that's the animal mentality and human being. Because all the time we're mammals, and we act like the mammals do, and mammals are animals of some sort, right? So we all have this capability to protect and to fight and to run and to be fearful and to feel anxiety. I mean, all of that stuff. And we're also able to feel the things that come with being sick. And as an addict, as someone who has a neurological brain disease in the form of addiction and traumatic childhood experiences and drug addiction, and it is and also PTSDs. I have all of those things, and that's why I was diagnosed with a neurological brain disease. And so the traumatic childhood experiences, the PTSDs, and the drug addiction is things that I got to battle with every day. And in a sense, just like that lady's story in the Bible, those are things that are constantly bleeding for me because I'm constantly dealing with them. And the only way I knew how to deal with them in my addictive state was using. And now that I am clean and sober and engaging myself in my faith-based community and my recovery community and doing things for the positive all the time and setting healthy boundaries and not doing the things that help me in the unhealthy boundary world is, amazing to me because I honestly feel blessed, and I pray about things all the time and think about things all the time, and especially the people and the things that were in my addictive world, because there were people that I really cared about, and I pray for them all the time, and hopefully that they can find the first rung of that ladder somewhere in their life, and hopefully if they see this video, if they see any other video that can be encouraging to them to do the first thing and grab that first rung so that we can start that uphill climb and get out of that realm of darkness. So because it's possible. It is possible, and I'm here to tell you that it's possible, and I'm living proof. So I hope that this message resonated with somebody here today. I hope you have a happy Sunday, and I thank you for listening to my podcast. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, send me a message, and I'd really appreciate it. The more supporters I get, the more I can learn to spread this message of positivity out to the world. And if nobody hadn't told me today that they care, they love you, you know what? I care, I love you, and I hope to see you in the world of recovery and positivity. So until next time, when the smoke clears, I am the Recovery Pro.